Thank you so much for coming out on this very nice day. I'm saying it's winter. I don't believe them at all. How about you? Do you believe it's winter time already? I don't know. It must be a kind of a weather shift due to global warming, but whatever it is, I'm glad you're here and you took the chance and the opportunity to experience the wonderful art that we have to share with you. So I would just, on behalf of myself and the other participants, would like to welcome you to Entity Admit, the group art show by the G.A.C, the Gwangju Artist Collective. So please give them all a very big hand. Don't know what the G.A.C is. It's the Gwangju Artist Collective. It's comprised of many different styles of art and many different people from many different countries. The Gwangju Artist Collective was established a few years ago by a few art lovers here in Gwangju and has lived forth and has produced a lot of young and inspiring artists. And you can see by the pieces we have here today that they're all very talented in their own special way. We have a few first-time artists here, so they've never done an exhibition before, and I think they did a great job. And then we have some veteran artists too. They did a great job too. So today you will see some photography from Louis Sampson, a very nice mixed media piece by Shilgarani, and you'll see some brand new photography done in a unique way by Elizabeth Allen. And Go and Hum, she made a piece for this show. She's an art student, but she participated in this show too. And then Mark Eaton, one of our veteran photographers, great work, always a pleasure to work with you. And then Eleni Rosario, she is one of our artists that did some poetry, so you can look forward to that as well. And then myself, Lisa Menas, if you don't know me yet, I'm a lover of all art and anything in art life. So I'll be presenting some of my poetry. This is my first time, so I'm a little nervous. I hope you'll be kind. And then Doug Stuber will share with you some of his poetry as well as some of his wonderful paintings. And then a very talented young artist. I know him as Juan, but he must help me with your name pronunciation. Is it Juan?
Right.
Okay. And you can see his work there at the back. Really, really well done. So just quickly to give you an idea. So when you hear the word Entity Admit, do any images or specific ideas come to mind? Well, if you break it up, an entity means a being, an individual, a specific person, perhaps an animal. It can be any form. And then amid, if you take the dictionary translation, it means among or inside. So when I thought about this theme as the organizer of the show, I got really excited. And I was looking through some albums I had on my computer. And I found this one. It's actually part of a software program. And it just yelled at me, Entity Admit. And only an artist could see is that Entity Admit does not only include people, but can also mean nature within itself. Alright. Have you ever taken the time to look inside a beautiful flower? This too is art in itself. This is one of my pieces of photography. It was taken on the beach on the East Coast, and it just told me that if you were the only person at dawn, you would be the entity amid such beauty. Alright? Then if you travel to our beautiful mountains here in Korea, you can see all the beautiful red leaves and then you would be the entity amid all of those beautiful things. All right. I found it very interesting. When I took this picture, it was basically for the downflow of the waterfall. But have you noticed the bug's eyes? And it's drinking the water. It's an entity of mid-nature. This picture was taken in South Africa, where I'm from, and just a single pair of lens could mean an entity of it. This poor little goat was the only one in the pen, and he was the entity amid his flames. Same for the ostrich. One entity amid highways. There were several highways crossing on the back and on the side of the plane. So entity amid can basically mean anything and everything, depending on how you interpret it, of course. It could mean an individual within a group. It could mean one male among many females. It could mean one foreigner among many Koreans. And it could also mean isolation or inclusion of anything. So today I'm doing my first ever live poetry reading. It's a little scary. And this would be my entity amidst all of the spoken words today. So please listen carefully and be kind with your comments and your patience. And here I would like to share with you vines. Undulating vines grasp at stone constructs, crowding skyward in a hasty fashion, pushed by the fear but ever-increasing need, only to be chopped back by impatient men. Ideas sprout from seedless prisons to die at the sight of wider reasons. Why then do we account for them? We know that ideas only die doing. Shot down into deepest darkness to find warmth and a place to root, hope or revenge stirs beneath the darkness, plotting to make a beginning, its end. This poem was significant to me because this poem in itself inspired the theme of entity amid. Like a seed among a lot of soil, it brings hope. It's isolated, but still really, truly born of hope. And then finally, I would like to share the last piece with you called Momentarily. Time sneaks up, becomes relevant, only this moment can be known. Questioning yourself in this second is a gift of worthlessness. Swirling gray, covering like a cloak, the mind's desolation for bearing its truth. Reveal your secrets, Lady Truth. Show me your plans. If truth could be known, would life become sure? Independently so. Time sneaks up, passes irrelevance, the moment known is sure. Pretend burning questions do not bother you. It's a gift in itself worth having. Merciless certainty to ease the mind. I think the best people to describe what they felt and feel, the meaning of entity amid might be, is the artists themselves. So please give a warm welcome to G.A.C.
Hi, everybody. So I'm just going to speak really briefly about my art. These are the 4 pieces that I've contributed to the show. I think they're really great. And the reason I feel comfortable telling you that they're great is because I don't really make art often. I really respect and appreciate art. But this is something I was really inspired by the theme which Lisa chose. So these are some photographs which I've taken, and I manipulated the images using my computer to make them into these kind of sharp black and white images. The reason I feel good praising my own artwork is because I'm going to donate all the profits to a local orphanage and to a local non-profit organization. So I think they're so beautiful you should buy them. And I don't feel bad saying that because it's all for a good cause. But ultimately, As I mentioned, I really like Lisa's theme. I think living in Korea has really changed my life in many ways. I think the experience of being a person, being a foreigner in a country, not necessarily being able to communicate and understand things, can really change a person's life. And it really has changed mine in a way. I speak a little bit of Korean, but not much, and I actually kind of like that. I think it's, in a way, I get to learn a lot about people and different things, but in a way that is less dependent on communication, on words. So I've really learned to pay a lot of attention to things that I used to not pay attention to. I used to really trust words, but now I tend to not as much, and I trust actions and expressions. I think they're very powerful in a way that I didn't realize before I came to Korea. So these are images that I took a year ago at a temple. I did a temple stay for about 4 or 5 days, and at that temple stay it was pretty much a silent retreat. So I was there for several days just thinking and wondering about many different things. So this is a picture on the side of the temple. This might be familiar as a temple spirit. If I were to have continued climbing up behind the temple, the mountain, this is a picture taken from that mountain behind the temple. This is a bird sculpture within the temple. And finally you can see the eaves of the building. So I chose these 4 pieces because, as I said, the theme of it really just made me think a lot about my time in Korea, what I've experienced, all the things that I've learned as a person and entity amid an environment. And these, I thought back about the time, and the time in particular that I was at this temple and thinking a lot about other things. So I decided to submit them, and I think they're great, and I hope you do too. Thank you.
Well, I think they're great too. I've already bought my piece. So, it's an entity of myth. First exhibition, first sale. So, congratulations on that too. Next we have a wonderful artist called Shilpa Rani, here to tell you about her piece. It's right there in the back, in the purple, and she's going to tell you more about it. Thank you, Shilpa.
Hello everyone. When Lisa talked to notice about this art show about entity and myth, I wanted to participate in here because I had so much to say and express about my feelings, right, living in Korea for so long. The piece of work that I have done basically depicts individuals in a society where they may be ignored in a conversation or not given any kind of responsibility because they probably don't belong to a particular culture or they don't speak the same language, or I have experience of being in a group where I couldn't communicate or say anything, couldn't understand what was going on around, but I would just quiet listener. And at times there were moments, when actually I'm a scientist, so it was very frustrating at times when I couldn't interact to learn about what was going on, but at times it was very relaxing and I would just sit back and watch people doing what they were doing. So my painting there has little stick figures which present my emotions during this kind of a situation where I feel like a wallpaper, but I'm thinking constantly, where I'm saying to myself that should I allow these words to build a gap between us, or are they really necessary, and all these spaces between us are just getting filled up with just words, arbitrary words which make no meaning. But I always constantly keep thinking, are really words necessary to make a conversation? Because I get along well with the Ajum on the street without knowing a word of Korean. I can walk wherever I wish, feel safe and free to do whatever and also communicate to people without using a language. So it's just a depiction where, okay, now I have to go back to my scientific part of my brain, which is saying, okay, come on, say this now. Basically, the brain nerve cells are star-shaped and they interact with one another and connect with one another. And at times, there are situations where I go back and just watch and listen to what's happening here. In a particular situation or a state, where my brain cells are not interacting and connecting or thinking, that what's next? What should I do that? Why should I do that? Okay, that's this. It's not doing anything of that. They become circular, which, I wanted to depict it as a wallpaper and then have flowers in them which are circular. And the brain cells are basically circular and trying to absorb things. So the paper I used to make those flowers are, how can I say, they are blotting paper. They're basically filter paper which absorb things and spread them. So they're just depicting the brain cells which are just absorbing things in the silence, because I'm not making noise with my mouth, and my brain is not thinking what I should say next. It's just listening and trying to, take the space into its way. Anyway, I'm just blabbing things now. So, that's what that piece is. That's it.
Thank you so much, Sultan. It's actually really beautiful. I would definitely put that as wallpaper in my house. Thank you. And next we have Elizabeth Jean Allen, or Beth as you know her. This is her first time being a participant in a group show, so let's hear how she interpreted these. Thank you.
Hello, this is my first time presenting photography. For the past year, I've been in Gwangju. I've been an entity amid a photo club without a DSLR camera. And for those of you that do photography, occasionally you will notice that you need a nice camera in order to get a very crisp photo, or that's the idea. But my photos in the back are all taken with my iPhone. They've all been taken with an application in advance, so I didn't manipulate them at all after they were taken. I just screwed them up using an eye-putting Korean application on my iPhone. And my Korean photo club friends, I've been trying to communicate them with my limited Korean, and they inspired me to want to contribute. Now the reason I chose those particular 5 pieces are that you can see in the solitary, there's one in particular, it's called, I believe it's called Shadows of Imperialists, and that one actually has the American flag and the Japanese flag. Now it's a reflection in a subway of the 2 flags as we were getting ready to hike up Mount Fuji. Now I picked that piece because I felt, coming from Korea, but yet being in Japan, and lived in Korea for 2.5 years, I kind of come from an imperial background. Like my nation has been seen as an imperialist, and also Japan has been seen in Korea as imperialist. So I chose that one because I feel as though you must represent peace wherever you go, and I like the reflection. And then this was not my generation of conflict, but it is our generation of peace. So that's why I chose that piece. The second one next to it, that is again in Japan. It's a single female. She is an entity representing a line, and she was representing that line for almost an hour alone because she was supposed to stand here and wait here. And I feel as though a lot of us sometimes are there, We're told where to stand, we're told when to wait, and we become entities amid, could be a crowd, but solitary nonetheless. Again, the centerpiece, the largest piece, what caught me was that being a teacher here, working with children, all I wanted to do was turn the swings of that same subway into rope swing. I just wanted to play. And sometimes if we're lucky here, we get to be children again by contributing and working together. The last two pieces, both the same area, are here in Gwangju, and they're paralleling stairs. Now, this is inside one building. I can show you where it is, but it's gorgeous in that there are two purposeful layers of stairs going to similar directions, but they're not built together. They're built on different levels. Now, why would you do that? But it's beautiful. And the fact there's several doorways and a space for a bicycle, it's brought in entities amid life. So I hope you enjoy the pieces. They're all online. They're all on my Facebook. People have seen them already. So it's only to advertise that you can do a lot of things with what you have. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be here. So thank you for the G.A.C. And thank you, Lisa. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for your wonderful work too. I never knew an iPhone could do that until I met you. Well, I'm not really technologically inclined, but yeah, it's really great. Thank you very much for that. And next we'll hear from a delightful young lady called Go. So if she feels comfortable, she can also be telling you her story in Korean, and perhaps someone can translate for her, but let's give her a big warm welcome.
I couldn't make many efforts. And I didn't make abstract or crazy work. I just drew a flower over there. They call me Pyong in Korean Boran. Usually people meaning of Pyong is west and corner. However, there are some different meanings according to its color. Red color means west and lunar, and light red means south only, and white color is you should be careful by your back. And I do light red, light red, yummy, more. In the picture, the flower is green. There was the reason why I drew the flower. When I was high school, I had a hard time in a friendship. I become a selfish person, and when I realized that there was no one around me, and so I tried to become one person, and many places to meet and everyone. So when I have the image of this power, it seems to me trust yourself. This writer of this speech.
That is a really, really great piece. Everybody give her another round of applause. All right. And one of our very well-known photographers here at the G.A.C, Mr. Martin. Thank you so much.
It's an honor for me to be in the midst of the other artists. Thank you very much. And thank you for attending. I am Mark Eaton. My photographic artwork supports the theme of entity and myth, particularly isolation. And regardless of our love to travel, we're still isolated when we first come to the country, regardless of what we do here. Faceless, alone. Where do we find our support? A helping hand from another? In Korean, fellow expat. So that's what my work represents with the entity of myth. I love the theme because it's how I feel. Even with the support that I have, there's sometimes where I am alone. See all of the eyes on me. I'm not that handsome, but thank you. So I want to thank you for your support of the arts and for your support of people who are merely visiting here. Faceless, yeah, but we are an entity. We are a being. We love and we feel, we share, we cry, we laugh, because we love. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to come here to be with us today. Thank you.
Very well put. Thank you very much for that. And then, I don't know, Ellie, are you here? All right. Eleni is a young poet, and when I was given the opportunity to organize this show, I thought that so often when we think about art, we're only thinking about images and visual arts, and I grabbed the opportunity to introduce to you the art form of poetry once again. It's something that we all know and love, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in your life you had the opportunity to write some poetry. Not everyone is brave enough to share their poetry, but please take the time in the outer room. Eleni's poem, Eli, is there, and just take the time and read it very carefully. It's about her little brother, so I think that she would love for you to consider her piece of art as well as if you would be looking at nice pieces too. So I would like to thank her in her absence for her beautiful work too. And then, Mr. Dr. Huber, please come share with us your thoughts and your feelings about the show. Thank you.
Well, oh my God. Thanks to everyone for coming. Now I see what Mark saw. This is quite a job. My type of art doesn't always lend itself to the immediate thought of what it's like to be one thing amid a larger group of things or people. It doesn't really do that. So I'm going to read some poems that might get at that. Maybe one or two, since two seems to be the norm today. I handed this out. The front one's on there for a reason. Female crane lands on 86 lotus paths. She's not done yet, but effortless love is long gone. I just want to keep this alive, adolescent, pure attention without overhang. But lead paint flakes off this locked door, the one that leads back to your heart. I'm left to cry alone. Grow wings now, relearn how to fly, celebrate what you love about me while you still can. Here's what I love about you, your art, food, laugh, bright eyes, dedication to a simple, kind life. Your country roots appeal to so many in this raw, cold world. Let me warm you again. Again. This is going to be tricky. How am I going to cut it down? Let's read 3. I'm going to read Flicker in the middle. Flicker. This guy was an entity, a myth. Choppers, loud, descend toward lantern-lit roof. Find a technical college student studying chemistry by flickering light. Gun by his side. Now pulled up, now riddled mercilessly, body collapses. He had just spoken about the uncertainty of life in Baghdad. He chuckled nervously about no food, no electricity, no peace, no way to sneak to school without risking death. His machine gun got him killed. Not a militiaman, not a fundamentalist, nor Ba'athist, nor anyone who killed. Still, he was on a roof in Baghdad. Imagine 20 flickering years, 1986 to 2006. Born during the Iran War, 5 for Desert Storm, but strong enough to survive radiation-coated bombs, sanctions, befouled Tigris, Euphrates, a sewer. Dead now, just as true love emerged up from the ashes, against customs, past pressures of overbearing religion, only to be squelched from above. The Creator as Deus ex machina us. Surely heaven awaits. And lastly, we'll go to the maybe back page. Absolutely. This is my son's birthday. It's hard to explain why he's not here, so I'm not going to. You got me started. James Shante at 6. This is Gwangju. My son turned 6 today, joyous, playing among sets of friends. Should we shield him from the real world? Or can we find a place that meets his needs? Generous, true to his word, forgiving enough to grow strong. He still asks many questions, calls Gwangju Korea, accepts correction, studies Chinese words. After dinner, he runs in restaurants, jumps in gyms, copies chess moves when stumped, finds hidden connections. A true friend, he opens our eyes to a wider world, but feels no burden, no payback needed. This language star will ride out any storm, grow his food, befriend everyone, live long and prosper.
Thank you, God, for sharing that lovely moment with us, and congratulations on your son's birthday, too. Earlier today, Doug shared with me that one of our friends and colleagues lost his daughter today. She got shot, so he's very emotional. So I think we would just like to take a moment of silence in remembrance for her today. Thank you very much for your time. And then, last but definitely not least, let's hear from our brilliant visual artist, Juan. Thank you.
Look, I first out would like to thank this G.A.C for letting me participate in this exhibition. So yeah, basically I base my artworks based on my feelings and problems that I had encountered here in China. So, like the problem with the world today is like the sense of arrogance and ignorance. So people insult and challenge other beliefs and faith. Everybody is trying to defend and or preach their own belief, thus provoking other people's thoughts, regardless of what belief is. So, like, how to say, like, from this problem, I think it and like make into a piece of artworks. So yeah, basically, yeah. So most of my works are about like feelings and problems that I have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. And they are quite striking. All right. And that brings us to the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, I'm sure that the G.A.C. volunteers will help. Are you going to hand out that? Oh, we're doing this. All right. Thank you very much. And Rochelle's going to speak to you now, but I'll sit down.